this video and showing my channel, Broke Budgets, Some Interests. My name's Christine, and I'm tracking my family's financial savings journey here on the channel. So if you're interested in content related to budgeting, saving, and struggling to figure things out in general, then this might be the place for you. In today's video, I'm going to be catching up because I did not unpack last week's budget binder, so I did not stuff for this week, and I have to prepare for next week. So I have a whole lot of catching up to do, and yeah, that's the plan. If you haven't watched my other videos, I am severely pregnant, so I do get winded very easily. So if I sound breathless or like I can't breathe, it's because I can't. I apologize if that's distracting or bothersome in any way. I also want to add a disclaimer that I am not a professional by any means. Like, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just figuring things out as I go and trying to find a system that works for my family. So this may work for you, this may not work for you, this may make sense, it may not make sense. If you're willing to offer tips or advice in the comments below, I'd really appreciate it. If you see me doing something you know isn't going to work out, or something you've tried before, let me know in advance, please, and thank you. Okay, so let me get my iPad in my face. Alright, so I'm going to look at my expense tracker. Again, if this is your first video, the way that we do things here in this house is we charge every transaction on a credit card, and the money that's in this purple binder should be deposited. The money that's used, I guess, should be deposited into the bank in order to pay off the card at the end of the week. So as I spend, or as John spends throughout the week, we take the money out of each pocket and put it into the deposit bag. And like I said, the deposit bag should cover the card's balance. Okay, so this front pocket is just kind of like a cash buffer, just like to give me change if I need it. So again, this is from last week. So from August 1st through the 7th, we had $40 cash remaining. So I'm gonna just put this off to the side. Groceries, $40 cash. I'll move this. Kids. So right now we cannot afford to budget for the kids for during the week activities and for sinking funds. So any money that the kids' pocket gets and that isn't spent is what gets put into their sinking funds. So we didn't touch the 20, which I did change for 4 5s. We are saving for 4 children, not just my 2. So that's gonna get set aside. It's not gonna go into the rollover. And then the deposit bag itself should be $240. Okay, $240. Great. Okay, so I'm going to quickly jump to my sinking funds and then come back to stuff for the coming week. So I did calculate how much I'm going to give my sinking funds. First and foremost, the kids binder, they're gonna get their 5s. As with the other videos, I did have to kind of flip some things around. I did add a couple of pockets. I don't think I'm ever gonna start a video and not say that, because things just come up, especially like just starting out. There's just things like that I didn't think about. I'll explain in a second. I don't have a folder for the child that I'm currently baking in my body, so because we aren't sold on a name, I'm not sold on a name, so I'm gonna put this $5 bill here in the front pocket, and when he has a name, he will have a folder and he will have $5. Okay, now let me go to my other sinking funds. Now, in the last video, I did set aside some money for this week's sinking funds. So this is 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And this is 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So this is 160. So I know that I set aside how much did I set aside for this week? 220. So this is that 240 from the deposit. I'm gonna take a 20 out. I'm gonna take a 20 out. And I'm gonna put that for the sinking funds, and I'm gonna do the same thing. Put the 40 for the sinking funds. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 120, 40, 60, 80, 260. And that's what I want. Okay. So 260 is what we're going to stuff today. Let's just get into it. So house is getting 100. If you hear background noise, that's John walking around. I did deposit $560 cash into the bank, so I have a 1K slip. Very excited about that, but the household fund does bother me a little bit because prior to starting this journey, we did have $8,000 put away. So kind of exciting, mostly still depressing. We ended up we only had that one savings account, so it was utilized for everything, and we ended up having to like dip into it multiple times. It just like one thing happened after another, like it does in life, and in a matter of months we ended up going from having $8,000 put away for the house to 440. And if you watch my other videos, you saw me mention I have 440 in the bank for the house. So yeah, we're basically playing catch up. Our goal for the house fund, like to buy the house, was 10,000, so we were really close. We were at 8. Now the goal is 5,000, and unfortunately we're going to be removing the other 5,000 from one of the retirement funds because we need a house. I don't want to rent anymore. We need a house. So that's what we're gonna do. So right now I have 1,000, 20, 40, 60, 80, 120, 40, which is what I should have, and then I'm adding 100. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And that gives me 1,240. Okay. Here's a new fund. So I don't know how I forgot about this when I was setting up my sinking funds, but we need to purchase a new car seat for my 1-year-old and a duo stroller to replace the single stroller that we have, because I'm due in September. So we need to start stuffing that like immediately. So I guess the stroller is not extremely necessary, but the car seat definitely is because the baby's coming. The goal for this is going to be $500, but if we just purchase the car seat for now, that'll just be like $250. So yeah, this is gonna be the miscellaneous folder. I'm not gonna write or have car seat on here because it's such a short-term goal. So this will just be for those short-term purchase goals. Okay, so 100 into miscellaneous. This is for the car seat. I don't know how I forgot that. Okay, I did have a rent folder, but I changed it just to future bills in general. I was watching Jordan Budgets, who is another low income cash budgeting mom, and she was basically explaining like that she pays her bills a month in advance, and I was like, wow, that sounds really nice. So I'm going to start saving in like a general bills envelope, and hopefully at some point we'll be able to do the same. This will have to reach, I guess the bills vary by month, but because of our debt payments, I guess it would have to be at least $2,000. So we have a long way to go, but we're putting 10 in for today. Debt is not getting anything. Emergencies is gonna get $10. Health is another new folder. So we had an unexpected medical bill. We had 2 unexpected medical bills, and I did not have a copay folder. So my buffer took a hit, a $60-something hit. So vision is another one, but that's separate. That's mostly for John. He breaks his glasses all the time. So the buffer took a hit with those bills, and I don't want that to happen again. So we are, we're gonna have a fund for that. All right, 10 for Christmas, right? And then 10 for car. And 10 for taxes. Hang on, I'm gonna switch some things around for a second. So I'm gonna take the 10 out of taxes and take out that 2.5 from the car, and I'm gonna put this 10 in the car. I know the kids are gonna get $20 for next week. I would rather use the singles and the 2.5s because I can just break it up easier. So that's what we're gonna do. So now taxes has $20. Okay, yeah. Okay. Perfect. Now we're gonna come back to the budget binder. Kids have 5. Okay, so this is this week's budget. Like I said, I'm behind because I'm just behind. So I'm going to be stuffing, and then I have been keeping track of my expenses, so I'm gonna be stuffing and then taking out the expenses for the deposit bag. Okay, so gas was given $120. Okay, groceries was just given $20. Shopping was given $20. I'm just starting this. Dining out was given $20. Yeah, my buffer and the kids, I'm gonna put this money in here. So my buffer took a big hit between the medical bills, and then we have Amazon Prime, so John's not getting anything. He takes his money out early. So my mom had asked us to buy something for her on Amazon. She needed it quickly, so the buffer took like a $98 hit, and we were down, like my buffer went from $166 to $67, so that hurt. And since I had just deposited money into the bank for the house, I like immediately was cushioning that buffer just in case, and I felt like I was having flashbacks, like, oh my gosh, I'm moving this stuff around already. But we've already replenished the house fund and the buffer, so that's been taken care of. That's why it's all X'd out. John needs to buy a new phone, so we're gonna that's like an immediate purchase that needs to be made, so that's $200 we're gonna put towards that. And then I did talk about the new sinking funds. So since we're putting $200 and whatever extra money we have towards the phone, we're not going to be making a debt payment this week. This week we were hoping to make a $300 debt payment, but we made a $600 one last week. We typically we like the idea of doing $300 weekly at least. And last week we did $600, so it was almost kind of like a double payment. So this week we're gonna skip because of the phone, and then next week I don't know, we'll see if we can do like $400 or something. But yeah, so John needs a new phone, we can't skip on that. All right, so I have stuffed what I allotted for this week. Now I'm going to take out what has already been spent. Now I'm filming this on a Thursday. I know it's late, but like I said, I'm catching up. So I kind of predicted how much I'll have rollover. So that'll be going to the phone as well. Okay, so groceries, I spent $14, so I need to put $6 back in here. So this is where these singles come in handy. So I'm gonna actually put this 20 in here. Put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the deposit bag. So the $6 is going back in groceries. Eating out, I know I already spent for both dining out and shopping because we went over for dining out. We had dinner with my parents and we bought this pizza. So I'm gonna take the 40 out, put that into the deposit bag, and then gas, we spent 20. Did I do this one already? Did I do this already? I don't remember. No. So those are the expenses so far this week. All right. And then looking at next week, this is what I'm hoping to put in the sinking funds. We'll see how it works out. So looking at next week, by next week, the stroller car seat fund, this week it has 100. I'm hoping to put another 100 in there, so that'll be $200. And then the week after, so next week, putting 130, so we'll be at 330. So I'll at least have half of it done. So yeah, All right. I will be back on Saturday to stuff my sinking funds again with like the sinking funds money. I apologize for being late, but I appreciate you guys hanging out with me as I play catch up here. Hopefully y'all are doing okay. Maybe you're getting ready for back to school season. I know I am. We go back in 2 weeks and I can't wait. I don't know if I explained this to y'all before, but my checks come bi-weekly. John gets paid weekly, I get paid bi-weekly, and right now my checks are like severely reduced because back in April, like for the last 7-8 weeks of school, I took a COVID sick leave, and that was at the price of being paid 2/3 rate, so I was told, and I was under the impression it would only last for the time that I was out. However, it it actually lasted through the whole summer. So my paychecks, this isn't 2/3 by the way, it's actually about 1/3 of what I'm normally paid. So at the end of August, next paycheck, which is the 26th, I think, or the 27th, my pay will be almost triple this and back to normal. So I'm very excited about that, like very excited. It's been hard just getting $400 bi-weekly. It's been really hard. And that will help us tremendously. However, I'm only going to get a couple of those regular checks because that's at the end of August and I'm due mid-September, so I'm only going to get a couple of normal checks. I'm a teacher, so we don't have paid maternity leave, which is just a whole other stressor that I don't want to think about. So all in all, right now we're sitting on the edge waiting to see what happens with all of this in the next couple of weeks. But anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me and hanging out. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share, and of course drop a comment. I have been watching so many different budgeting channels, so if you have one, please let me know what it is in the comment box, in the comment section, and I'll definitely check out your channel. I'd love if you guys subscribed and joined me on this journey because I can use all the help and guidance you're willing to offer. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching. Bye!